What is up, everyone? As I over here scratching my ankle and whatnot, it's good times. But yeah, today was beautiful. Today was a awesome Friday. So hopefully everybody enjoyed their Friday. Hopefully it was great. If it wasn't great, what did you grow from? What did you learn from? What progression did you make? And so, of course, want to give a shout out to the sponsor for Two Native Sons, that being Tabala Mexican Cuisine. Tomorrow, they will be at Black Cat Distillery for some Halloween shenanigans. So go check them out. They'll be down there. You can go drink some, eat some, check out some great food and whatnot. But tomorrow, I'll meet up with Jasper, helping her write the commercial for the sponsorship, which will be utilized within the Dreamer Cypher and the podcast that we are working together with through the collaboration piece and whatnot. Also, want to give a shout out to Patrick Massey, the Patrick right there as I'm moving here. This logo here, Patrick had accomplished that. And so if you're looking to have your idea brought to life, I highly suggest reaching out and talking to Patrick. He runs Hype Designs. I actually posted something on my Facebook page sharing a challenge that he's putting on for the month of November. Go check it out. He's got something where he'll do some work for free. He's going to do some different design work for pictures and whatnot. So go check that out. Grateful for what he's done for us. And so that piece right there, as I'm over here, this piece right here will be part of our merch line. And so we're working right now to get that on shirts. He also did something for us in regards to what we speak in regards to being unscripted. I'm excited to bring that out, show that off and whatnot. So that will be part of the merch line. So I want to give a shout out to both Patrick and Jasper for everything that they're doing with Two Native Sons and the collaboration piece. And it was awesome because I had a good friend, Garrett Goggins, and Garrett will actually be a special co-host this week on the Journey Beyond Divorce podcast. So Miriam is busy, so it'll be me and Garrett this week. I'm excited for it. But Garrett and Patrick are working together to do some different design work for what Garrett's doing. So it's beautiful. And right here you can see another hat here. So we have 3 hats that we've accomplished. Excited for just the growth that's taking place and whatnot. But it's beautiful. Let's go. So there's so much going on. I'm excited for November. I've already talked about that being National Podcast Post Month. So it's going to be fun because Garrett's part of that challenge. Patrick Murakami, my business partner with Two Native Sons, myself, and Daniel McCarthy. It's going to be a whirlwind time because it's a post every day for podcasting. So it can be multiple things. Excited for that. But you've got to understand the power of your thoughts, the power of what you speak, the power of what you see. And I always say that your thoughts start everything. People can fight that and say, no, it's whatever else. But honestly, your thoughts are powerful. That starts everything for what you're doing and whatnot. And so couple things out of Moonshot, which are very, very powerful. And so the one, let's see here. One in here was people tend to get caught up in seeing the world only as it is and not imagining what the world could be. If you focus only on what the world is, then you are resigning yourself to a particular destiny. And so I've spoken on this, that it's the power of stacking your thoughts. And it goes back to your thoughts. And so with that, when it's discussing that you are resigning yourself to a particular destiny, if you don't understand the power of your thoughts and you don't work on your mindset, you get stuck. You're going to be stuck. It's going to suck. It truly is going to suck. It's not fun. And so that's stuff that Garrett is real big. He's a mindset coach. That's something that he provides individuals with the coaching piece, is working with them in regards to changing their story, their thoughts. And for myself, working with divorced gentlemen in the coaching space, for guys, we suck. We honestly suck. Like, I went 14 months of being on my own. I was angry, upset, had this story that I told myself that I wasn't worthy. I couldn't do anything right. I didn't deserve anything. And so change started when I was able to forgive myself for the actions that I took part in, my actions in the relationship, and then forgiving the situation, being able to forgive it, let it go. That really flipped it, but that started by working on my mindset. And so that's something that people have to understand, how powerful your thoughts are, how powerful your mindset is. And so it's one of those powerful things that what you focus on expands. And so you've got to ask yourself, what are you looking at right now? What are you upset about? What are you tired of dealing with? What are you tired of constantly facing? And what do you need to change? What thoughts do you need to change? What story are you telling yourself that's not serving yourself anymore, that you need to change? You need to do something different. But the thing is, it's only going to come, and change is only going to take place when you make that decision. When you decide to cut off all other options, you end up burning the boats, and you're going to go and do the work. The toughest thing with the work is your mindset. That is the toughest thing, because you have a shit ton of shit that's been piled upon itself. A lot of us don't go and observe our thoughts. We don't do a deep dive and start looking at our mindset, and it just builds and builds and builds. And so you've got to think about that. How much shit has piled up, how much you're going to have to dig through to get to the bottom. And it's okay. We've all gone through it. The beautiful thing is there are people out there that truly want to see you succeed, truly want to help you out, truly understand the power of what it's going to look like for your life by making these mindset shifts, making these changes. And if you think you can do it by yourself, it is very difficult. For me, the world of personal development, but finding a family, the family that I decided who was part of that family. I had the choice. I got to decide who was part of that family. And I got to decide who I was going to lean on and push to be able to change. And so it's tough. I've had a friend where I was talking, he went through a divorce, and he said for 2.5 years, it was the worst time of his life. And so it's tough when you try to do stuff by yourself. I will say that if you think you can do it, you're 95% inaccurate on that. 5%, you may have the strength and the willpower to really do it. But the issue is you are with yourself 100% of the time. And so if you don't have somebody to come in there and step in to interrupt that cycle, it's going to continue to repeat. Because you got to think, you got to this point because you didn't do anything. You didn't question. You didn't go and look at your mindset. You didn't do the work. And so it's tough if you think you're going to be able to do it. If you do, more power to you. That's great. I'm glad that you've been able to do that. But a lot of people cannot do it because you self-sabotage. You come in there, you speak negative to yourself, and you have this vicious loop over and over again that is hard to break by yourself. Trust me. The only reason I broke it was because of the people that I found, the culture that I found, getting into personal development. Too many times we try to do things on our own and it just doesn't work out. As humans, we're social creatures. We're meant to have our tribe. We're meant to be around people. But too many people try to do this on their own. And it's tough. It's difficult because you got to understand you are with yourself 100% of the time. And if you're not questioning and you're not working on yourself and you don't have somebody that can step in from the outside and say, hey, why are you speaking to yourself that way? Why do you tell yourself that? Why do you believe that? What would life look like if you change that question? Would you allow somebody else to talk to them like you talk to yourself? A lot of times people be like, no, I want to do that. So then why do you allow yourself to do it? If you wouldn't allow somebody else, your friend, your brother, a family member, if you're not going to allow those people to talk to them like you talk to yourself, why are you doing that to yourself? Why are you causing yourself pain? Why are you punishing yourself by the words you speak, the story that you tell yourself? That's the power of finding your tribe, collaborating with individuals, coming together. It's a beautiful thing. But the thing is, you've got to punch the ego in the face. Your ego is not your amigo. Your ego is going to keep you locked up in the place that you are, because you're going to sit here and you'll be like, I can't show up. I can't reach out for help because somebody's going to judge me. I can't do it because I've been burnt before. Each person is different. You can't get jaded by a situation because of a previous situation. I know that's tough. And you're listening, you'll be like, that's a bunch of shit. I've tried it before. And every time I do something, every time I try to open up and find somebody, I get burnt. But what happens is you're focusing on that, and that's what's expanding, and you're attracting those type of people that are doing the same shit over and over again. You've got to change your story, because, like I said, what you focus on expands. And so if you're focusing on the negative, if you're focusing on the bad experiences, and that's what you keep feeding yourself, that negative feedback loop, that's what you're going to find. That's where you're going to attract. And then you're going to be like, this sucks. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. Punch your ego in the face, tell it to shut up, and ask for help. That's why I'm very prone and I speak on, if you need help, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out to me. Don't hesitate. Don't put the spotlight on yourself. Take it off of yourself, because you have a message that somebody else needs to hear. The struggles, the obstacles that you have, overcoming those, somebody else needs to hear that story and know that they can do it too. And your message could be that message that somebody's looking for. And by getting out of your own way, taking the spotlight off of yourself, putting it on other individuals, you could save a life potentially. You could be that 1 degree change that somebody needs to make a huge shift in their life and make a huge springboard action forward. But you've got to take the spotlight off of yourself. You got to stop selling yourself short, because you have a story that matters. You have a story that somebody else needs to hear. You may not believe that right now, but you have a story that somebody else needs to hear. And then the other quote in here, that it goes with what I just said, those limitations that you may have. People often say the sky is the limit. The sky is not the limit. There's no such limit. It is an artificial boundary. It's a boundary that we have created for ourselves. It really controls people, because they're like, oh, the sky's the limit. What's past the sky? Outer space? Other galaxies? But he says in here that imagination is our only limit. Your imagination is your only limit. The sad thing about that, though, is many of us have stopped using our imagination. Part of your imagination is your dreams. future forecasting, thinking about what the future looks like if you took this step, if you did this action, if you brought this idea to life. What does the future look like for you? What does your life look like in the future by going and chasing after your dream, after your vision? What does it look like to share that with somebody and have 10, 15 people jump on board with you and work with you and run with you to bring this audacious, hairy, large-ass goal to life? What does life look like for you? You've got to envision it, and you can't limit yourself. You start envisioning, you may limit yourself because your logical brain is going to kick in and say, this isn't possible. You can't do it. You failed before. You have people ahead of you that haven't done anything. So what makes you think you can do it? And this comes into your ego. Your ego is jumping in there, trying to protect you for whatever reason, because you're dealing with fear. Fear is looking you right in the face, and it's challenging you, and it's laughing at you because a lot of times you're giving up on yourself. You decide, oh, it's not worth it. I failed. People in my family haven't done this before, so why should I do this? Nope. You know what? You've got something in your heart, your soul, that somebody else needs to see, somebody needs in their life. And it's interesting because when I bring up the word selling, and you think about sales, what comes to mind for you at that time? How do you feel when you hear the word sell? Probably you're thinking, you're like, that's bad. Selling, you probably have had a bad experience. But I've heard it differently. This is going through one of my courses, and Dean Graziosi had brought up the fact that if you love something so much and you didn't sell it, you would be doing a disservice to the world by not helping people purchase your service or your product, whatever it is. You're doing a disservice to the world, because it's powerful when you really have a drive, a passion, something that you truly love, and you know you've seen the impact that it has in somebody else's life, the change that takes place in somebody else's life. Now, think about it. If you have this passion to change somebody else's life and you're passionate about it, if you don't sell and you don't persuade, because pretty much that's what it is, it's persuading. And selling a lot of times is what's best for the client, what's best for the customer, is usually outside of their comfort zone. Because a lot of times people are looking for ways that it's not going to work, why they shouldn't use the product, why they shouldn't use the service. And so their brain is looking for ways, and they're believing these negative thoughts that their brain's giving them because they're trying to protect themselves, and they're asking these wrong questions. And the questions that you ask, your mind is going to find answers for you. It's going to dig into your memory, and it's going to bring up these facts of why you shouldn't do whatever, why you shouldn't bring this up. But guess what? If you have something that you know that can change somebody's life and you don't sell, you're doing a disservice to that person. Or you could have an issue where that individual may go and find somebody else that's offering the product and the service, but they're not as passionate about the situation, the topic, like you are. And because they're not as passionate, you may impact that person's life because they're not going to have the change that they need. And so maybe this is a tough topic. Maybe this is a topic that you're like, this is crazy that we're even talking about this. Ask yourself why you think it's crazy. Ask yourself why you're squeamish to think about the idea of selling. And now look and think about what you have, the product or service that you have. And you know, because it's worked for you, what that can do for somebody else. The value that you have, the change that you possess that you can give somebody else because you've changed your life by doing whatever it is. And so if you get squeamish and you're like, I don't want to sell, I don't want to be pushy, you don't have to be pushy, but you got to sell your product. You've got to be comfortable with sales, because how do you expect to change the lives of others? It's on you. You've got to make that decision, and you got to adjust and look at things differently. It's these freaking paradigms that we have in our minds. It's these freaking paradigms that have been stuck in our head by somebody else, by society, by our previous experiences. And you've got to squash those. You've got to cut them down. You got to rip them out of your head, and you've got to readjust. You got to put new paradigms in your mind. You got to create new paradigms. You've got to create new stories. But guess what? The only time that that's going to ever take place is by you doing the work. You have to do the work. Nobody else can do the work for you, because this is your life. And if you're trying to wait until the perfect time, until the perfect opportunity, that is not going to happen. Because what will happen is, if you're like, oh, today's not the perfect day, let me wait a week. Okay. That week comes up and you'll be like, oh, it's not the perfect time. Let me wait a month. Okay. The month goes by, comes up. It's not the perfect time. Let me wait a year. You keep pushing it off, and then you're going to get to the end of your life and you're going to have that regret and be like, shit, because I kept pushing and pushing and pushing it off, I didn't live my true purpose. I didn't live my true life. I didn't show up as my true self. I showed up as a pseudo self because I was trying to appease other people, because I was scared of judgment, because I was fearful of going past my comfort zone, because I was fearful of, I didn't know what was on the other side. I was fearful of making a mistake. I was fearful of what other people were going to tell me, what other people were going to say. I was scared that maybe I lose friends. Maybe my family disowns me. Maybe my family calls me crazy because they haven't done it before. But guess what? This dream that you have has been put into your heart for a reason. There's a purpose for you to do it. You've got to embrace it. You got to step in there. And even if you only know 40% of it, start swinging the bat. Start sharing that dream. Start sharing that vision with other people, because you will attract other people. The thing is, though, you've got to be excited about it. Even if you don't know how the end looks, even if you don't know, how am I going to accomplish this? How am I going to bring this to life? Doesn't matter. Have excitement, because this is a dream. This is a reason that it's there for you. And you got to go do it. Nobody else is going to go do it. You are the only person that's you. I am the only Scott Brandt. Well, maybe there's multiple. I don't know. But who I am, there's nobody else like me. And I love it. I've talked to Miriam. We've talked about this. I was like, man, if there was multiple of me on planet Earth, we would be really screwed. We'd have a bunch of me running around and be like, just having fun. Nothing we get done. So that'd be crazy, though. Having 10 of me, we all have the Zafuji lifestyle mindset. Man, I could really go and impact a lot of people, but I don't know if I'd want to have to worry about 9 other of me. Hey, you over there. Scott, number 8. You go do this. I'm crying. But, oh, man, you just got to tap in. You got to trust yourself and understand that not everybody's meant to be part of your mission. You don't need 10% of the population. You only need 1% of the population. You only need to find one person that you can impact. You only need to find one person that believes in your vision and your dream to run with them and start growing the shit out of it. Go and punch a hole in the universe. Go make a big dent. And so that's why I tell people, Because guess what? With a problem that we're solving and what we're working on and talking about impacting a billion people, being $1 billion enterprise, that's exciting for people. And then Patrick's told me that he's talked to individuals and he's spoken to them about this the Fuji lifestyle that we speak of. And when he tells people what it means, they light up. Why? Because too many people don't want to be true to them. Too many people want to play this fake game. And I'll openly speak that the Fuji lifestyle that we are building and we're creating with others is a zero fucks given lifestyle. We are at a point where I don't care about your opinion. That's your opinion. Great. We all have opinions, but we also have to understand we're always being judged. So how are you going to show up? What are you going to do during those times of being judged? And your biggest person that's judging you is yourself. That inner voice, that story that you're allowing to live in your head rent free and you're not changing it. That's your biggest critic there. That's your biggest person that's judging you, is that voice inside your head. But you have other people outside of you that are going to judge you, good or bad. You can't control that. The only thing you can control is pretty much your bubble. So your wingspan here. So anything that you can touch like this, that's all you can control. You can only control yourself. You can't control what other people think. You can control your thoughts. You can control your emotions. You can control the process. You can control your actions. You're the only one that controls that. Nobody else does that. What's up? Why do you look sad?
Yeah.
My youngest has just popped in here. What?
Can I sleep in my clothes tonight?
I would hope so. You'd sleep in clothes.
No, the clothes I'm wearing.
You need to change a little bit. I'll be right in there. I'm almost done, okay? All right. So, but other than that, thank you guys for your time. Like I always say, any aha moments that you took away from this, love to hear them. Anything that you may disagree on, let me hear it. It's all good. Love to hear it. Maybe you look at things differently, which is cool. Love to see how you're looking at it, what perspective you're taking on. Love to hear that. But like I said, if you have any questions, you don't feel like there's anybody that's there on your side, you just feel like you're on your own island, reach out. Let's sit down and talk. Let's see what you have brewing in and whatnot. Hold on. So don't be scared to reach out. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful. There's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. This is a place of understanding. And it's just to help people out, ultimately to make the change, go after their dreams, live their best life, live what's true to them, live out their purpose and whatnot. So, again, want to give a shout out to a couple of people, Patrick Massey, for what he's done. So, like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to him. He'll bring your dream to life. Also, go take a look. I posted on my Facebook page the challenge that he's doing. I almost knock off the camera. But take him up on that. His work is spectacular. You will not be disappointed. And then also shout out to Jasper Axelrad with Tabala Mexican Cuisine, sponsorship with Two Native Sons and what we're doing with that. Excited for it. So other than that, love you guys. I'll catch you guys later. All right. Peace.
What were we doing?
What I was doing.
What were we doing?